Hello my dudes, my name is Steph Koza, welcome to my channel, and it is time to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. Spoiler edition! If you don't want spoilers, I don't know why you clicked on this video, but you should probably not watch this and go to my spoiler-free movie review instead. This video will not be a movie review because I have already reviewed this film, and it's more or less just going to be me ranting about Spider-Man Far From Home and all the stuff that I couldn't talk about in my review. Because the trailer for this movie didn't really give away much of anything, and there was a lot of stuff that happened that I wasn't really prepared for, and I would like to talk about it. In no particular order, let's do this dance. Mysterio is so cool. He was so good. Jake Gyllenhaal just slayed this role. He did just, it was amazing. When they first announced the casting, I was like, oh, interesting. Interesting. Bubble boy. Put him in another bubble. But he was so good. He was so good. He was so good. I think what I loved about him is that, I mean, I loved a lot of things, but one thing that I really loved is, even though I knew that Mysterio was the villain, like, I knew he was gonna come in and, like, pretend to be the hero and then fuck it all up and become the villain and be awesome. Like, everyone knew that was going to happen, but when it happened, I was still excited and, like, surprised, not surprised, but I don't know. It was like one of those moments where I was like, oh, plot twist! Even though you know the plot twist is coming, it's still very exciting. Is anybody with me? It was very, very exciting. I will say I'm a little bit disappointed that he was not from another universe, because I was very excited in the trailer that it, like, confirmed multiverse. I know there's still kind of a multiverse, like, it's sort of been confirmed-ish, or implied at least. But in the trailer it was like, multiverse confirmed! And then the movie was like, just kidding, we lied to you, there's not a multiverse. Even though I still think there is. That was a little bit of a bummer for me, but it was also kind of cool to see that, like, the trailer was just completely manipulating us in every way. I think the way that they illustrated Mysterio's powers, or not powers, but his, like, holographic things, was so cool. Like, when he's fucking with Peter and just beating the shit out of him and all this random shit is appearing, like, that was such a beautiful mindfuck of a scene. I was just like, what is happening? And I was also terrified because I was like, Peter is getting his ass beat. He doesn't know what to do. He's gonna die. I feel like after Endgame, I just think everyone's gonna die all the time. So I was just like, Peter's gonna die. Peter's gonna die. Oh my god, Peter's gonna die. And, like, I know Spider-Man's not gonna die in the Spider-Man movie, but I don't know. The element of danger was very much there. Mysterio was just so badass. He was like, pff, I don't even have to do anything. I just have my holograms, and they do it all for me, and my drones that came from Stark Industries. I still find it fishy that Tony Stark would give Peter Parker access to giant drone missiles. I don't know. I don't know if he trusted him that much. But it was very cool, and I loved, oh my god, Edith? What did it stand for? Even dead, I'm the hero. What a Tony Stark thing to say. Like, I love that even after death, he's, like, making light of the situation, even though it's super dark. I love Tony Stark so much. I love that he was still kind of present in this film. Like, even though he was gone, he was very much a character in this movie. And you could also really see the toll that has been taken on Peter and on the world. Like, the mural of Iron Man that just, like, made me tear up. When you open the case and it was his glasses, and you immediately are like, oh, those are Tony's glasses, because he always wears weird glasses like that, and I just got, like, really emotional. I was just like, you gave Peter his sunglasses. Ah! And then when Happy was talking about him, and he was like, Tony was my best friend, and I was like, I love you, Happy, I'm so sorry. There were a few times when I almost cried. Oh, when Mysterio, this got me, alright? This scene fucked me up forever. When Mysterio is causing all the crazy shit to happen around Peter, and he's, like, fucking with his brain, and he starts bringing up Tony, which, you know, bold move, good idea, Mysterio, that's his weakness right now, but, like, you fucking asshole! And he brings up the grave and has Tony's name on it, and I was just like, no, it's too soon. And then fucking zombie Iron Man just rises from the dirt, and I will never unsee that. I was so disturbed. I was like, no, you can't do this to me right now. I'm still grieving this man who's a fictional character, but he's so real to me, and I just can't do this right now. That was just too much for me. Very unexpected also. Like, this movie has it's kind of has dark undertones, but it was pretty, like, fun and lighthearted, high school, rom-com sort of vibes. And then it was like, oh, by the way, Tony Stark is dead. Here he is as a zombie. Ugh! That really got me. Oh, and the very beginning of the movie, I just remembered this. And it's the I Will Always Love You song is playing, and it's like this terrible slideshow, like, in memoriam of all the Avengers who died. It was so, like, I don't even know how to describe the feeling of watching that, because it was funny, but it was also like, oh my god, they're all dead, and I want to cry, but also this is funny. And it was a really good way to kind of make light of the situation, and it kind of set the tone for the film, because that is sort of the tone for this movie. It's like, it's a fun, happy, lighthearted Spider-Man high school rom-com going to Europe adventure. But then there's all these dark undertones of, like, the aftermath of Endgame. A lot of people died. Tony's dead. A lot of people are dead. Peter has gone through a lot of shit. He probably has PTSD. Also has really big shoes to fill. There's a lot of, like, dark, heavy shit going on in the background. But it's like, they had it in a nice balance. It kind of made it easier to deal with all those heavy things, because it was, like, funny and fun. Does that make sense? I kind of said this in my other review, but I really loved MJ in this film. I loved her even more than in the first one. I thought she was so cool. She also had a little bit more vulnerability to her. She wasn't just, like, this side character with, like, good one-liners who had, like, weird dark humor. She was actually a person, and she was cool, and she was kind of awkward, and I really liked her dynamic with Peter. I felt like it was very believable, very real. It wasn't like a standard Spider-Man and Mary Jane relationship. It was like they were friends and they started to like each other, and it got kind of weird and they don't really know how to deal with it, and it's just really cute and awkward and funny, and I just love them so much. They're so cute. Like, their kiss scene, the most awkward kiss scene in history. I love how Spider-Man has, like, two of the extremes. It has, like, the upside down in the rain kiss from the Sam Raimi films, which is one of the most iconic, beautiful kiss scenes in cinema. And then we have this one with Peter and MJ in Spider-Man Far From Home, and it's just like, I don't know, I've never kissed anybody before, but I like you, and it was so awkward. I loved every second of it. But it was just so cute and innocent, and I don't know, I just loved it so much. One thing that I was iffy about in the trailer, but now I'm kind of on board, is when they were talking about how Spider-Man has, like, big shoes to fill, and, like, who's gonna be the next Iron Man, and it was kind of implied that, like, maybe Peter will be the next Iron Man, and I was like, no. Spider-Man cannot be Iron Man. They're not even, no, that doesn't make sense. But in this movie, it kind of did make sense. Like, he'll never be Iron Man. There's no way. But I could kind of see this being the beginning of him one day, far, far from now, being, like, the lead of the Avengers, possibly? I think I would rather have him do it than, like, Captain Marvel. I feel like he's earned it more than she has. I feel like he's more invested in this Earth than she is. I don't know, I could see it. And I think what really, like, hits that home is the scene where Peter is on the plane with Happy, and Happy's like, go get a suit or whatever, and he's, like, using all of Tony's tech, and he's, like, making his suit, and he's, like, talking to the AI, and, like, Happy looks at him with his face and, like, you're like the new Tony Stark, and I just wanted to cry! There's a lot of moments in this movie that I wanted to cry. And I know no one will ever replace Tony Stark, and Peter Parker will never be anything close to that, but it was cool to see him in that element and kind of taking on this new role, and he is kind of filling his shoes, not completely, but at least partially. And the scene right before that, when he's, like, having a breakdown on the plane, which, like, honestly, Tom Holland's best performance. He just looks so broken and sad, and I was so broken and sad, and I was like, I just want to hold you. You tell you it's gonna be okay, Peter. And then Happy, like, sits down with him, and he's like, listen, Tony Stark is a fucking mess. He was in shambles all the goddamn time. And when you think about it, Peter never really saw Tony like that. Like, we've seen Tony like that because we watch all the movies, and Happy has obviously seen him like that, but Peter always saw him as, like, this perfect, prim and proper adult man who, like, had his shit together. So I like that Happy was like, hey, he actually didn't have his shit together. He was a total mess. I also really enjoyed the small little tie-ins with previous Iron Man movies, like when Mysterio is having his, like, weird toast with his co-workers. And it's like an assembly of all of these people that have been wronged by Tony, more or less. I thought that was cool. Like, we got the guy who was yelled at by Jeff Bridges. It was like, Tony Stark made this out of a box of scraps! And then it's like flashback to all these different scenes, and I thought that was really cool, and just like a nice little nugget of nostalgia in case you weren't missing Iron Man enough already. Now I think what we really need to talk about here is the ending. So there were a ton of theories for what the end credit scene was going to be, and I had my own theories, and when this one happened, the first one, I 100% did not see that coming at all. Just not at all. And it kind of reminded me of the first Iron Man movie, which again is kind of why I'm having this mindset of like, this is them setting it up for way down the line. He's going to be like the new godfather of the MCU, like Tony Stark was, because he had this like coming of age movie. It ended with his identity being revealed. And I don't know, they're kind of following the same format. So I'm wondering if they're trying to like kind of do this all again, but with Peter. I don't know. That's my theory. But anyway, yeah, everybody knows. Also, the way that it was revealed, what the fuck? How are they gonna come back from this? Because Mysterio is like on the big screen in New York City, and it's like this video that he filmed moments before his death because he knew he was gonna die and he just wanted to fuck over Spider-Man. He was like, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna make your life a living hell. So he kind of tweaks with the audio of what's happening and he kind of messes it up, or I guess he doesn't because he's dead, but the guy that he was working with did. And he's basically telling everyone that Spider-Man was the villain and Mysterio was the hero, and he died saving everyone, and Spider-Man killed him and tried to kill everyone with these drones that were from Stark Industries, so it's kind of believable that it could have belonged to Spider-Man. And he just like manipulates the whole situation, and then he ends it by saying, Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and then a giant picture of his face for the entire world to see. And then it just ends! It just ends! It just ends right there. We're gonna have to wait years to find out what happens next. I don't want to wait. In the comics, this never ends well. When Peter Parker's identity is revealed, it's not a good thing. It's never good. Somebody always dies. Aunt May is probably gonna die. Or MJ could die. Someone he loves is going to die. Thanks to Mysterio. And I'm not ready. What if Happy dies? What if they kill Happy? No! Don't you touch my Happy. Okay? Don't touch him. He's finally getting laid. Which, by the way, was a great element to this story. Happy and Aunt May are a thing, and I never knew I wanted it. But I wanted it, and it's great. And then if that wasn't enough, if you weren't already like, what the fuck? Then there was another end credits scene. Which, this one, honestly, I had heard a lot of things from people who were like, oh my god, the end credits scene's fucking crazy, blah. And I don't know, I was kind of expecting that. Like, Fury was acting fucking weird that entire movie. I don't know. I thought it was weird. Also, Maria Hill was acting really weirdly throughout the entire film. She just kept saying things and I was like, you seem different. I don't know, it was incredibly subtle, and I didn't think they were Skrulls, but I did think something weird. I didn't know if it was just like the acting was kind of weird. I don't know, something was slightly off. But even without that, everyone has been talking about the fact that Secret Invasion is probably going to be the next Marvel story that they go with. Like, they introduced the Skrulls in Captain Marvel. Granted, they were very different than what we expected, but they were there, and that was the thing. And so, like, didn't we all kind of know that there were going to be Skrulls, that was the next phase with Skrulls? Oh, I don't know. That was, like, exciting. It was like, okay, confirmed. Secret Invasion, most likely, is going to happen next. It wasn't that surprising. It wasn't that exciting. I think the more exciting one was the cliffhanger one, with Peter's identity getting revealed. That was fucking wild. I don't know. I think that's all I can think of. I should have written this down. I'm just kind of going off memory. But I thought Spider-Man was a hell of a good time. It was fucking great. I'm thinking about seeing it in theaters again, although I also still need to see the Endgame re-release with, like, the extra footage, which I've heard isn't really that exciting, but I just kind of want to go for the spectacle of it, just to see it again and, you know, feel sad, because I am a masochist, apparently. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of Spider-Man Far From Home in the comments below. Talk about it, all the spoilers that you want, doesn't even matter. If you're here, spoilers are permitted. Also, if you want to talk about this movie in depth with me and some other cool people, feel free to join our Patreon Discord server, where we have a channel for this movie and a channel for all the movies and a channel for not movies, just like, you know, whatever you feel like talking about. And come join the Discord server. There's a link in the doobly-doo below. All you have to do is become a patron and you'll be invited forever. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Steph. Be sure to like this video if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!